Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Was Neglected and Become the Ultimate Red Dragon Emperor of Underworld Part 4. Before we start, please go support Dorita DK for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. Life 8. Family or not. After welcoming both Irina and Zenobia to the peerage, both of them were placed in Issei's class to help them fit in better and to have someone to watch over them. Motohama. Oh, hell yeah, look at these cuties, I'm in heaven. Mitsuda. I hope they are okay with having a lot of hex with us. Irina. Oh yay, Issei, we are in your class. She had a massive smile on her face that made some of the guys blush at her. Zenobia. If we weren't, I still would have gone to ask to be with him. Issei's head just hit the desk, they all just looked at him. Issei. Girls, please don't make it sound weird. Mitsuda. Oi dipshit, why are they friends with you? Issei. Angry, call me that again and I'll leave you one life support, and that's a promise. It set off the class a bit since they know his new attitude is better than his old one, but now he doesn't take anyone's crap anymore. Teacher. That's enough, Mr. Bale, and you two don't start fights. Now then, how do you know Mr. Bale? Zenobia. He is the one who helped us settle and we are indebted to him for helping us when others were walking past us and not helping. Irina. Plus I'm his childhood best friend. Smiles. Both perverts just had their minds blown again. Issei is taking the girls from them. Teacher. Well, since you know Mr. Bale so well, you can sit by him and Mr. Bale mind showing them around. Issei. Sure. They sat down and had class. He could see between the two of them, schoolwork wasn't the best for them. They were bewildered by the schoolwork. Later that day they all met in the club room and the two of them looked depressed. Issei. Schoolwork not fitting well for you, is it? Zenobia. Sad no. Irina came and held his arm and sat close to him. Irina. Sad no, we are so far behind, it isn't funny, math has become my enemy again. Issei. I'm almost 100% sure that math is most people's problems, but give it the time, it was your first day. He sat down next to Kaneko, who was eating some chocolate. She offered him some, and he took it. She got comfy next to him and continued eating the chocolate. He wrapped his arm around her and she settled into his side. Issei. So, who's ready for tomorrow? Rias. I don't know actually, it can go one of two ways, good or bad. Keno. Well, it won't be that bad. Irina. Parents' day, huh? Issei. Yours aren't happy, are they? He could see the sadness on her face and he pulled her next to him and she rested her head on his shoulder. Irina. Not particularly, but they don't know it'll break them, mainly my dad. Issei. I'm sure things will be alright, I'll help talk to them for you, I owe them a piece of my mind too. He had a serious look on his face and she chuckled a bit. Irina. It would be nice. They all went their separate ways and Issei and Rias went home and they found the helpers busy putting up pictures of Issei and Rias holding Milikas around the house. Issei. Babe, you're glowing in that one. She blushed and took his hand. Rias. You look so handsome in this one. He pulled her close and gave her a quick kiss. Surziches. Ah, there you two are, what do you think? He pointed at the large painting on the walls of them and Milikas. Issei. I say they looked pretty good, but wouldn't you want ones with yourself up? Grafia. It's when he looked the happiest and it's what matters most. He looked and they saw Grafia walking with Venelana and Zeodicus walking towards them. As they got closer, Milikas woke up and wanted to be taken by Issei. He took him and Milikas started laughing. Grafia. He must really like his uncle, he doesn't laugh that much with us. Issei. Hey, you never know, he could end up liking dragons a whole lot. Oh, and that reminds me, check it out. He pulled out his wings and 4 came out of his back, shocking the family. Surziches. When did this happen? Issei. When I met the white one, I think I never pulled them out, I always use my dragon ones, so it could have even happened when I fought Riser. Surziches. You know, not even Rias has her other wings, yet you may be more pure blood than you let on. Issei. Issei. Oh well, I'm happy with life now. Venelana. That reminds me, we going to be present for your performance. Issei. I look forward to hearing you sing again. Smiling. Issei. I think I'll keep the singing to a minimum around the house, mainly love songs, don't want too many kids running around just yet, we just got used to Milikas here. Surziches. That's right. After dinner, they went to bed and Rias and Issei started making out again, getting closer and closer together. When they pulled away, they just held each other after making out. Rias. Blushing, that was amazing. Issei. Blushing, huh, I'm in bliss. They looked into each other's eyes and felt nothing but love for each other. Issei came in for another kiss and she kissed him back. Issei. I love moments like this with you, it makes me feel sane. Rias. Same with me, I can be myself and not need to hide it. Issei. Seeing you actually have a genuine smile is what I need to get me through my day. She smiled and just rested her head in the crook of his neck and he just held her close to him. Rias. Issei, when do you want to get married? Issei. How about when we are both done with high school? How's that? Rias. That sounds good, I do plan on going to college afterwards though. Issei. I might not go. Rias. Why is that? Issei. By then I want to be an ultimate class devil, so people know that your husband is the king of kings. Smiles. Rias. So, you want to be a devil king? Issei. No, I want to be the Devil King. Rias. That's a tough goal, but I'll support you through it all. Issei. Thanks. They got comfy and went to sleep. The next morning Rias got up and started getting changed. Issei. Morning babe. Rias. Morning my love. Issei. Want to tell me why you are getting dressed so early in the morning? Rias. Oh, you see we going to be cleaning the pool at the school today. It's our club turn, so I'm going to meet the others there. Issei. Well, I wish you luck. Call me if you're bored, I'll be there, but it also depends on what I end up doing. She climbed back onto the bed and gave him a kiss. Rias. Lustful. I'll call you when we are done. Make sure to bring your costume. Issei. Smirking. Can't wait to see my bride in her costume. They shared another kiss, then she teleported away. Issei got dressed and went to Surzich's and found him sitting at his desk. Issei. Hey Zetches, what's up? Surzich's. Ah, perfect, you're here. We can make you an official mid-class. I spoke to the Elder Council, and they agreed that since you already got the 4 wings that most mid-class devils possess, you just need to stand before them. They can acknowledge you. We can go now if you wish. Issei. Okay, I'm ready to go now. Surzich's nodded, and then they teleported away and were in front of some old people who looked down at him. Elder 1. Is this the Red Dragon Emperor you told us about? Surzich's. Yes, I'd like you to meet Issei Bale, as much as he has my mother's given name, he's part of the Gremory family, and Bale is a formal name before his marriage with my sister, then he will be Gremory. The LDER2. Young dragon, tell me why you stand before us. Issei. Well, I never had anything to my name before a few months ago, and I have set myself a new goal, and that is to be the Devil King. Elder 5. So, you wish to be a Devil King. The LDER7. What a joke, this half-breed will never be a Devil King. Issei. I don't think you heard me. I said the Devil King. I want to rule over the whole underworld. You know I have the power to do so. You're just scared that if I do it, you're all out of power. Elder 8. Why do you wish to attain that much power? Issei. To protect everyone from harm. Not everyone deserves pain, so I plan to make a change, starting with how you all look down on the lower class. You saw what I did to Riser, and that was the first time I did that. Now imagine when I can do it for longer and become more powerful than my master. The LDER1. I suppose the fight against Riser was one good feat. Think his family is a marquis level, and Gremory is a duke level, and given that you have been given the name of a great king family, given that you fought a high class and one is a low class, and became a mid-class this quickly, I believe it's a given that you have shown strength. Perhaps you will take the Gremory family to the Grand King in due time. The LDER7. If you believe this half-breed is worthy of being worthy, high class is fine, but I'll be watching him closely. I don't want filthy blood staining any pure blood. I hate his kind. One wrong move, and I'll have killed. They all kept quiet, and then another elder spoke. Elder 6. Young devil, can you tell me if you are human at all? Issei. No, I'm not. You see, I was human, but then a fallen tried to kill me and they succeeded, which caused my sacred gear to activate, turning me into a full dragon. But by the time my master found me it was too late, so he turned me into a devil, and I've only gotten stronger since. His eyes started to glow green, and his aura slowly started to spread. They could all feel the power of the red dragon residing within him, and his aura was something else. The older elders looked confused, making all the elders looked at each other, and then back at Issei, seeing that his power isn't normal. All. Congratulations on making high class. Issei Bale, use your power well. The LDER7. I'll still be watching your actions closely. You seem interesting in other ways, half-breed. He bowed and then Surzich's teleported them back. Surzich's. Nicely played, Ice. Issei. Thanks, but I wasn't going to have them look down on me for being low class like Riser did, but now I have a constant set of eyes on me with some of my actions. Surzich's. Well, done now, then you can go. Next time we spar will be after your training with my friend. Issei. For sure, man. Issei then teleported to the overworld and was in the sky. He free fell towards them and found them cleaning the pool. They sensed his power and looked at him, and he landed near them. Issei. Guess who was made mid-class? Guys smiles. Rias was the first to run to him and hug him, then the rest all came to congratulate him. Rias. Well done, my love. The Keno. Well done, Issei. That is a big step. Hiba. She's right, man, that's a massive and hard step to take. Hineko. Well done, Isenpi. Zenobia plus Arena. Congratulations, we may still be learning, but seeing the others say congratulations, well done, Issei. They both smiled at him, and he smiled back at all of them and gave him a hug. Issei. So, how's the pool going? Rias. Well, we are nearly done with it. Did you bring your costume? Issei. Yay, I keep a lot of changed clothes in the gear for most things, but how are you going to fill the pool? I know magic, but I don't think most of you can use water magic, can you? The Keno. Smiling, well, that's where I come in. I can use lightning, as you know, but I can also use fire, ice and water. Issei. Dang, that's cool. She slightly giggled and the way she did ticked Rias off. Issei. Well, I'm going to let you guys finish, I'll be out of the way. They quickly finished up and then went to go get changed. Issei changed into his swimming shorts and then waited for the rest of them to come out. He was looking at the markings on his hands and saw they changed again. He covered himself with the full armor and took a look at it. Issei. It is different from the white one's armor, even when I cover myself fully it doesn't look like his. He covered himself fully and looked at his armor, it was different and slimer than the white one's, but a clear difference between the two. Greg. That's because you're training differently right now. You may seem on par with him, but remember that form of his is his balance breaker, while yours turns you into a dragon which is stronger. Keep it as your trump card. Issei. But I wonder. He made wings with the boosted gear and not his dragon wings, and they looked similar to how the white ones were, but different as similar wing filling, but the shape looked different and entirely shaper almost. Issei. I'll figure it out later. He dropped the armor, and the girls walked out and saw how built he was. Than the last time they saw him shirtless, they could see the scars on his body on top of his dragon lines that covered his body. They all walked to him, but he only saw Rias. Issei light blush. Whoa, you look amazing. He gave Rias a hug and then fully saw the other girls. Issei. Nice ladies, looking good. Keno. Smiling. Ara looks like his eyes really are only on Rias. Irina. What do you expect, he's in love. They all nodded and then Issei let go of Rias and gave her a quick kiss. Issei. As much as I love this swimsuit it's a different one, no one can see you like this, only me. Rias. Heavy blushing. Okay. Keno then stood on the diving stand and then cast magic and filled the pool with water. He then saw the others dive in, then he saw Kaneko just standing by the shallow end of the pool not getting in. Rias. She can't swim, dear. Issei. Leave it to me then. He got in and then stood in front of her. She looked at him confused. Issei. Come on, I'll catch you. Kaneko. I don't know. Issei. Trust me, I'm here, I'll catch you and won't let you go under. She took a deep breath and she jumped towards him and he caught her and he could feel it, she was clinging to him for dear life. Issei. Right now relax, I got you, you're not going to drown. It took a few minutes, then she was able to slowly let go of him and relax a bit. Issei. Alright, I want you to trust me, okay, I'm going to help you swim. She nodded and he let her down deeper into the water. And he held both her hands and dragged her gently into the water. Issei. Okay, now start kicking slowly, start treading towards me, okay, and don't kick too hard, you're going to tire yourself out. Kaneko. Okay. She started kicking the water, then he pulled her along, and once he was fine with her kicking, he then let her stop and take a breath. Issei. Okay, how was that? Kaneko. This is hard. Issei. No, it's not, it's alright, you're doing fine now, then I'm going to hold you by your waist, and I'm going to walk a bit and let you use your arms a bit, okay? Kaneko. Okay. He walked around while she was using her arms to start treading. Issei. Okay, first off make cups with your hands and pull the water away from you. I'm going to loosen up a bit so you can feel what I'm talking about when you start treading. She did and she could feel what he was talking about. Issei. You think you got it down? Kaneko. Yeah, I think. Issei. Alright then, let's give it a shot, you have the basics down, so this is what we're going to do. He took her to the shallow end side and let her hold off the diving stand. Issei. Alright, we're going to keep this up till you can swim. He took a few steps back and then stood still. Issei. Okay, now swim to me, and if you don't make it alright, we can try again. She nodded and then took off and she made it to him and just held on to him. Issei. Alright, let's keep going. After 2 more tries he let her rest, she tired herself out swimming like that and she made progress. The others watched how he was like a big brother showing his little sister how to swim. When he helped her get out of the pool he dived back in and did a few laps to get some of his exercise done. The way he swam was like he was a sea creature moving through the water. What surprised them more was the fact he could hold his breath for 3 laps of a full event pool. Iba saw him next to him and Issei outswam him, then both Zenobia and Irina joined with him and he outswam them as well. After a solid 10 laps Issei got out and cracked his back, then went to sit next to Rias and Keno. Rias. That was impressive, babe. Issei. Thanks. She was lying on her stomach and he was sitting up. He placed his between her things and didn't do anything. He didn't do anything, but the presence of his hand there made her heart flutter. Issei. Hey, I still have the twilight healing rings. You think you found someone that can use them? Because I think me attacking people and then healing them is a messed up thing. Rias. Actually, I think I did. Irina, please come here for a second. She walked up to them. Irina. Something is wrong, President. Rias. No, but since you had to give back the holy swords and you only fight with a normal one now from Kiba, I have another role you can fulfill. Irina. And wants that. Rias. Issei, please give the rings to Irina. He nodded and opened his hand and the 2 rings appeared out of it. The green gems created a green glow around them as he held it in the light. Irina. Whoa, these are beautiful. Issei. Yeah, they are, use them well, Iri-chan. Irina. Blushing. Hey, don't say my name like that unless you want me to start calling you nude again. Issei. Yay, why not? She squinted at him and then took the rings from him and sat in front of him and Rias and put them on her fingers and sat down in front of Issei. Arena. Now how do I use them? Issei. Beats me, it just happened to work in the gear when I had them. Keno. Rias, either of you know? Keno. Not in particular, I know of them and about them, but I've never seen it in action. Closest I've seen was when you glowed green and healed Kakabiel. Rias. I'm the same, it's such a rare one to have that not much is really known about it, like the boosted gear. Issei. I'm sure she'll figure it out, isn't that right, Irie-chan? Arena. That's right, smiling. She looked at the rings and how they glowed, she felt the power spreading around her hands the longer they stayed on her fingers. Rias. Oh, Issei, mind rubbing some tanning lotion on my back, please? She handed him the bottle, and he rubbed her back and decided to just give her a massage. She moaned at how good it was when he finished. He was about to sit down, and Keno hugged him from behind and nibbled on his ear. Issei. And then what's wrong, Keno? Rias looked and saw she had her top off as well. Keno. Cute, would you mind rubbing my back as well, please? Issei. Ah, sure, I don't see the harm. As he turned around, he felt a tug on Rias and pulled him into her bust and held him. Rias. Irritated, he's mine. Keno. What's a little fun, Rias? I want a man to like him as well. Keno then pulled him into her bust. Arena. Sweat drop, I'm going to go before this gets any worse, good luck. Issei. Smooth traitor. Arena quickly dived into the pool, swam to the other side and watched from afar, with Zenobia, Kaneko and Kiba watching the fight happen with smiles on their faces. Rias and Keno got more heated in their fight, and both their wings spread and their auras manifested. Rias. I thought you didn't even like guys, Keno, so why the interest in my fiancé? Keno. You never cared about guys either till he came along, you said they were all the same. They let go of Issei and started attacking each other. Rias. Issei's special, he's my darling. Keno. Well, I think he's a darling as too, he's also the first man I've taken interest in, did you even think about that? Issei. Tanking the hits, Osona doesn't go off at them for damaging the pool, they do know I can hear this right. Greg. Dragons are known to have multiple mates, even if the dragon doesn't want more than one, they have other females who will be attracted to that dragon and no other person or dragon, so you better be careful and keep the order. Issei. That's the last thing I wanted, I'm not sure if I'm even that guy anymore that would have dreamed of this moment. Greg. I suggest you talk to the Redeed about it and make it clear that you don't have much say about the woman you will eventually attract toward you, but then again it should be interesting, no. He took his sword and used it like a lightning rod and sent it in the opposite direction, then sliced Ria's attack from destroying something. Issei. I would pray to God, but he's dead, so I'm in for an interesting time, and what the hell, why only tell me this now out of everything? This is the only really good advice or information you've ever given me lately. Greg. Like others, you need to build trust, and I'm trusting you more by the day, so in time if things are good, then I probably tell you more of what I know. Issei. I swear you're just a little kid, but fair enough. The others watched from a distance. Kiba. You know, when he said that not even the president's attacks even bother him anymore, I thought he was joking, but he's been taking on all of their hits and hardly taking damage. Zenobia. Perhaps we should get stronger like his. Arena. We can't fall behind, we're part of Ria's peerage, not him, and he trains outside of what she knows as well, which is why he's moved up so quickly. The day ended with both Rias and Keno apologizing to him for getting into a fight like that. Both. Teary-eyed were sorry. Issei. It's alright, I'm going to go for a walk, I'll see you later. They nodded, then he left the pool area and walked to the entrance of the school. Issei. Look who decided to make his appearance. So, I have read. Issei. White one. Vali. My name Vali. They looked at each other with their auras were running wild, alerting any supernatural around about the danger that is upon them. They both knew what they wanted a fight, they were itching for it. Rias and her peerage started running up to them after being alerted by the power spike. Issei. Hold it, all of you, he isn't here for a fight, are you? Vali. No, I'm not, I just wanted to meet my rival face to face, who also seems stronger than he lets off to be, or something else, a real piece of work. He started walking past them, not paying much attention to them. Vali. Azazel sends his regards. He left and they all came to check up on him. Rias. Are you okay? Issei. Better than I'll ever be, grins. They went home for the day. Rias and Issei sat in their room and she could see he was deep in thought. Issei. The red and white dragons are inherently apist. The two dragons, mighty enough to be called emperors, were sealed into sacred gears, boosted gear and divine dividing respectfully. Their wielders agreed, fated to meet again and do battle. Drake explained all that to me, but they don't understand that isn't my true destiny, and I can make it not happen. Vali was right, I'm stronger than I let off to be, but how much stronger am I compared to him? Rias sat on the bed, crawled onto the bed and came in front of him. Rias. Still deep in thought. Issei. Just thinking about how things could change, and Vali is going to be the root of the problems on my side. Rias. I know one thing, and that is I must get stronger to be by your side through thick and thin. He smiled and took her hand. They lay down and just looked into each other's eyes. Rias. Are you scared? Issei. More than you know, but don't worry, I'll handle it, no one is going to hurt you. He kissed her and they just got comfy together. Rias, that wasn't what I was talking about, I have a bad feeling about tomorrow. The next day Issei sat in class with Irina and Zenobia. They were with the Caddis and Murayama talking about what they going to do for the day. Irina. Moaning, Newt, give me some juice please, it's hot. She sat on his lap with her arms wrapped around his neck and he gave her some of the juice he was drinking. The class looked confused by the action. Akia. I think we missing something. Issei. Childhood friends that lived like siblings and took baths together. Murayama. Explains that, but is Rias fine with this? Irina nodded. Irina. Yeah, she lets me be because she knows we won't do anything and we just close is all. Issei. Exactly. Caddis. But the nickname Newt, where did that come from? Issei. For some reason, it's just a nickname she and my granny gave me way back when and it stuck, so I'm fine with it. Caddis. Well, on a different note, I'm not looking forward to my parents being around. Issei. How come? At least they are coming. My biological might just come to see me when I cut them off. Murayama. Deep, but wouldn't it be a good thing if they came? Issei. They didn't care till I left, which was nearly 2 months. When they realized I was gone, anything they do now will be out of guilt. Irina. I'm sure it'll be alright, Ice. Issei. Yeah, but let's hope today to go well. A bit later in class, Issei could be seen sitting looking irritated. His old parents were there trying to cheer him on, but he tried his best to not even notice him, but they were anything but subtle. He rubbed his ring and it calmed him down, knowing that he's got a new family that loves him and that his new mother and father are going to stand up for him. When the next class started, Venelana and Zeoticus walked in and everybody couldn't stop looking at them. Even Serzich's and Grafia and Milikas came for him. Milikas. Happy. Teacher. Oh, you must be Milika's parents. Serzich's. Happy, that's right. Teacher. Your son is such a delight to have in class. Grafia. He's only like that when he's with his uncle. Issei came to them and Milikas went to him before he went back to his seat. Venelana and Zeoticus gave him a hug. Teacher. Mr. Bale, are these your parents? Issei. Yes, they are. Smiles. Mickey and Gauro were shocked. They didn't want to make a scene in front of all of them, but something was going to be done. Mickey could only feel anger towards the two. The class went on smoothly and Issei was answering questions and getting them right, and then still had a bit of teasing with Caddis about how he got it, and he was still right. Milikas was even copying him, trying to argue with her, but he was just making noise as his argument. All the parents couldn't help but chuckle a bit with how the baby was acting. After that, he handed Milikas back to Grafia and then told the teacher he needed to leave for his performance. Teacher. Alright parents, we have a special performance from the music group in a bit, please follow me to the gym, then feel free to go around and see the school. They nodded, and then Issei managed to find Rias with a Keno. Issei. Hey girls, want going on? Rias. Lost in thought. The Keno. Smiling Ria Tan. Issei had to hold back his laugh, but then crouched down in front of her and gave her a kiss which brought her back. Rias. Blushing Issei. She came and hugged him and just held him longer. Issei. Everything alright? Rias. Contented as now. Issei. Good, guess who was in my class? Rias. Oh no. Issei. That's right, my old parents. Both girls' eyes went wide. The Keno. Oh no, Lady Venelana is going to lose it. Issei. Oh, please, if you find them talking, please call me, I need to see that go down. Rias. Sure, but are you going to be okay? Issei. I'll be fine. Motohama. Screaming, quick, we need to see this magical girl. They looked and saw a large group of boys running with cameras. Issei. I don't like the sound of that. Rias. Neither do I. The Keno. Let's go and see what's going on. They ran to the other gym and saw a girl cosplaying as a magical girl. Issei immediately ran onto the stage and Saji was next, almost out of breath. Issei. Hey, have some brains, your freaking mothers and fathers are here, show some respect. Saji. He's right, now all of you leave the cameras where they are, you'll get them back later. Mitsuda. Yeah, or what? Issei shot a grin towards them that made them all feel uncomfortable. Issei. He'll kick all your asses, do I make myself clear? They all then ran, leaving the cameras. Issei. I saw if you take the memory cards out, Sona needs to get all of them, mainly those two idiots. Saji. I saw, I made a mental note about who did. They both turned to the girl behind them. Saji. Now miss, you know this dress isn't suited for school, right? She shook her head. Happy. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Saji. Do you have a sibling in the school that I can go and get? She nodded. Sona. Saji, where did you run off to? Excited, my little Sotan, it's so good to see you. The girl ran to Sona and pulled her into a hug. Rias. I thought as much. Hello Serafal-sama. Saji paled and went to Sona's feet. Saji. Stressed Sona, forgive me, I didn't realize she was your older sister Mulavythan, please forgive me for my rudeness. Issei. Ha, little baby. Serafal. Oh, you must be the absorption dragon and the red dragon, am I right? Issei. Yup, it's nice to meet you, Lady Serafal. He bowed and she bowed to him as well, then grabbed Sona into a hug again. Serafal. It's nice to meet you too. Sona. Embarrassed, please let go of me, we are on school grounds and I'm the council president and I am meant to maintain control. Serziches. Oh, my, this looks interesting. Zioticus. Issei. They came and greeted each other. Then Alana. Issei dear, don't you have somewhere you need to be? Issei. Oh, crap, you're right, I need to go, we can talk another time if you wish. Serafal, I need to go. He quickly ran and left them in the gym. Serafal. What kind of greeting was that, Sona? You haven't seen me in a while. Then I heard you all were attacked. I nearly attacked heaven out of frustration. Saji. Worried, she's joking right? Please tell me she's joking. Rias. Nope, she's being serious. Serziches. Well, the whole reason she didn't was because Issei was there protecting all of you. Serafal. Hey Sona, how come you don't want to get married like Rias is? Rias grew a blush, then Sona did as well. Rias blushing, we just engaged Lady Serafal, nothing more. Her mother couldn't help but chuckle a bit at her, neither could her father keep it in. Serafal. I want my Sona to be happy. Hey absorption dragon, you seem reliable, do you want to marry my Sona? Sona. Blushing, wait sister, don't just. Saji. Serious, confident face, yes, I'll do it, I'll lay my life down for her. Sona didn't expect that response out of him, and neither did the Gremory family, but Serafal did have a big smile on her face. Serafal. Good, now then Sona, I want to do a trade, I want to train him myself to get him up to speed with his dragon abilities and fighting abilities. They were all shocked, including Sona. Sona. Blushing, but Serafal. But nothing, I'm being serious, I'll train him alongside Serziches. Right now I think it will be a perfect time to train 2 dragons for the devil faction. Serziches. It doesn't sound like a bad idea, honestly. Sona pulled away and started running away with tears in her eyes. Sona. Tearing up, why must you be like this? As she ran away, Serafal ran after her, and Saji bowed to the Gremory family and went running after both. The Keno. Ara looks like Serafal is actually putting her foot down. Serziches. I pity that boy, he's going to be in for a world of hurt. Issei hardly had a good time when we started. Then Alana. Now let's go and get some good seats for Issei's performance. They nodded and then walked to the gym that was set up for the performance. As they sat down, they knew who sat down behind them. It was his old parents, and they could see they wanted to talk to them, but they just ignored them and focused on Issei. Serafal and Sona, with a bit of her peerage, sat down next to them. Rias saw Sona was still visibly upset with her sister. The light started to dim and a spotlight shone onto the stage. They saw Issei walk onto the stage with a guitar on his back. Mickey plus Garo. He started playing again for real. Issei. Hey everyone, is everyone having a good day? They all cheered. Issei. Now then, we did a pool and we have a few songs for you to enjoy, and those with sensitive hearing, please find the headphones under your chair courtesy of the school. He watched a few people get them and then saw a nod from Grafia, saying he was going to be fine. Issei. Alright, let's do this. He started strumming the strings and the lights shone on the others behind him. While he was singing and dancing with some of the girls, the crowd cheered for them and even some of the adults started singing along with. After the song was done, they got cheers and Kira came forward looking a bit shy. Issei. You got this? She nodded. He picked up a soundboard and then they all got ready and then she started singing. After the song was done, she then handed the spotlight back. Issei. This one is for my fiancé Rias, love you babe, and for the rest of us with partners, enjoy guys. She blushed and his old parents were shocked to see that he was already engaged. They didn't want this. He started singing and doing a bit of a dance with the others and they were even helping with the vocals. Rias loved the song, her heart was beating rapidly while thinking about him and watching him. Other couples felt a spark either rekindled or made stronger. When they finished, they got a round of applause for the performance. Issei. Now then, the one request we had. After the last song, Issei stood front in the center of the stage. He started with light strumming of his guitar and the others started playing with him. As they started playing, the guys started putting on black blazers and the girls started bringing roses and spreading them around the stage. A man dressed in a suit walked next to Issei and started singing with him. Everyone was confused as to what was going on while Issei walked towards the principal, who had a massive blush on her face. Not knowing what going on, he pulled her towards the stage. As she got closer, the man got down on one knee and pulled out a small box. So many gasps were heard while they sang. Then the song slowed down and all the guys sang, and as it picked up, Issei carried on singing and looked at Rias and smiled. As they stopped singing, they heard the man's voice. Man. Kayako Izawa, will you make me the happiest man in the world and marry me? She started crying and nodding, she could hardly speak. He placed the ring on her finger, then she tackled him and gave him a kiss and everyone cheered for her. Issei. Thanks ladies and gentlemen, feel free to go home, hope you enjoyed the show. He and the others all bowed and they slowly left the stage and closed the curtains to allow their principal to have her moment in a bit more private manner. Issei was met with his family and friends congratulating him on his performance. Then Alana. That's my son for you, smiling. She pulled him into a hug and swayed him around. He's not your son, he's ours. They all looked and saw his old parents standing in front of him. Mickey. You're coming home. I do not care if they took you, and you are coming home, and you're going to get married to a girl that only we approve of. We know what's best for you." Issei took a deep breath and spoke. "Issei. No, I'm happy. I don't intend on leaving, and nor will I ever come back. I cut my strings with both of you." He took Ria's hand and held it tight, then showed them the ring on his finger. "Issei. I'm happy and I'm going to marry her, and neither of you has a say, and I won't let you, and if you do, talk to my new mother and father." They looked at Benelana and Zeoticus, and they could feel a sense of danger coming off them when they looked at them, but they pushed through the fear and stood their ground. Benelana. "Oh, so you're my baby's old mother." She started walking closer and closer, her gaze fixed on Mickey, ready to end her if need be. She then grabbed Mickey by the throat and looked her dead in the eye, making all the teens look at her with wide eyes, not expecting this at all. "Barrow. Let her go." Benelana. "Dear, mind showing this pitiful excuse of a man not to talk to me?" Zeoticus gave him a look, but it didn't look like it fazed him much. "Benelana, serious, you claim to be his mother, but I just see a pitiful excuse of a mother that made her own flesh and blood question if he was loved or not, and it makes me sick." "Mickey. You have no idea what our household and living conditions were to claim anything." Benelana. "Oh really? From Issei's point of view it was made clear he wasn't loved. Tell me, what did you do for his birthday?" Mickey. Benelana. "Where did you go the next day, leaving him alone? Sure, he can look after himself just fine, but the day he came to us he was so broken and out of it that it made me worry for his life. Tell me what was so important that you couldn't even celebrate his birthday for the past few years." Mickey. "I don't need to tell you anything." Benelana. "Oh, but this is where you should." She put more pressure on her throat, making it more difficult to breathe. Mickey grabbed Benelana's wrist to try and push her away. Benelana was a bit taken back by the strength, but it was a useless attempt to get her off her. Benelana. "He's gone. He's no longer your child, but mine. We went through the court system, and they couldn't even find you, and claimed that you have abandoned him, even seeing that Issei is in better spirits since joining my family, and this is where he'll stay, and he's happy with my daughter, and so is she. I don't ever see them leaving each other for anything, so face it, it's over. You can't change anything, understood?" Mickey. Struggling to speak. "I'll sue you." Benelana. "With the proof we have on you, they would only make you sign a restraining order and leave, making you even further away from him. Issei has also told me that you didn't even notice or contact him the whole time while you were gone, and only when you realized he was gone you wanted him back, and every time he's also mentioned you or that man you call a husband he's become more depressed, and the fact you only want him back now only makes it worse." Benelana let go and smiled. Benelana. "Don't upset me further, and don't you dare contact him anymore or you'll regret it." She walked away and went to Issei and pulled him into a hug, and he didn't break eye contact with Mickey. Issei. "Where did you even go that was so important?" Mickey. "Defeated Hawaii." Issei. "That's all I needed to hear." They all walked away from them, leaving the two defeated and letting them sit with their actions. Once home, Issei and Rias went to their room and just held each other. Issei. "Mother is scary." Rias. "I know." She could hear his breathing was irregular and his heart was racing. Rias. "Are you okay?" Issei. "I'm fine. I just need a moment like this with you." Rias. "Take all the time you need, my love." After a few minutes, she could hear his heart relax and his breathing become more relaxed. Issei. "How did you like the song I sang for you?" Rias. "I loved every second of it, my love." Issei. "Good." He kissed her forehead and she wrapped her legs around them, and they just stayed like that a bit longer. Issei. "So, remember the other day when you and Keno were fighting at the pool about me?" She started blushing from embarrassment. Rias. Blushing and "No, I don't know what you're talking about." Issei. "Rias, I'm being serious right now." Rias. "Okay, what about it?" Issei. "Drake told me that dragons are usually ones to have multiple mates to make strong offspring. Even when a dragon doesn't want other mates, he would still attract more mates, regardless of how he feels about them, and he said I should tell you." Rias. "I see." They stayed quiet for a bit thinking about the situation. Rias. "Curious, do you want a harem?" Issei. "That's the thing, I don't know, it was a dream of mine for a few years, but I gave it up alongside all the porn. It wasn't doing me any good, and I don't think I can handle multiple partners when I'm not in the most stable mindset myself. It would only do more damage than good." Rias. "Well, it's something that I'm not sure of either. If you're going to be constantly attracting more and have no say about it, there's nothing I can do but trust the fact that you would talk to me before doing anything." Issei. "Duh, why wouldn't I include my wife in a decision like this? I wanted you to know that's why Keno is probably showing an interest in me. I won't push her away because she is my friend, but I can say that I don't expect anything to happen, and if it did, you're going to be the first to know." Rias. "Good." Issei. "Want to go and take a bath?" Rias. "I would love to." They got up and then Serziches opened the door before anything happened. Serziches. "Rias, I was thinking about it. I believe you're ready to release your other bishop." Issei. "You had another one?" Serziches. "Yes, she did, but Issei, I need you to come with me for a bit. It's regarding your mid-class rank." Issei. "Sure, let's go. I'll see you later, babe." Rias. Sure, my love, be safe, Issei. Always. He then walked away with Serziches and went to his office. Issei. So what's going on, man? Serziches. I wanted to know how you're feeling after today. I know mother handled it mostly, but I noticed your hands had a bit of shake when they said you're going to marry a girl of their choice. Issei. I'm alright, it feels like a weight was lifted off my shoulders after a few minutes. They know now that I am done with them, and that mother can be a scary woman. Serziches. Why do you think father doesn't really talk much when she can fix it? She can be scary enough to fix it with her passive-aggressive ways, but both can be very scary when they want. Issei. I love this family, smiles. Serziches. It is a special one, yes. Issei. Hey, can you tell me something? Is there a way to have a practice peerage, like as a temporary thing for me to practice? I feel like it may help me know what I want from my own peerage if I get one. Serziches. Most mid-class don't think about that till they are close or told that they are ready for it. Issei. Well, I want to know, it could help me in the long run, don't you think? Serziches. I suppose, but would you want a queen or a particular piece that you would like to work with? Issei. How about a pawn or bishop? They seem to be very versatile, such as healers and powerhouses. Serziches. Well, I can see what we can do for you. Issei. Sweet. They both felt a small disturbance. Serziches. You have free time, go. In seconds he jumped through a portal and then was with Rias standing in front of all of them, and his aura was running wild. No, go away, go away. Issei. Serious, who are you? The rest looked like they had come back to their senses, and they saw Issei standing on top of Rias, another bishop, and his aura went wild. Rias. Babe, it's okay, he's my other bishop. Issei. Oh. He pulled back his aura and then checked on Rias, then stood aside and watched. Rias. It's okay to come out now, you can be with me and the others. Issei looked to the side and saw the person hiding in the corner. Issei. Sweat drop, babe, I can't tell if this one is a boy or a girl, and I'm scared that I can't tell the difference. Rias. Everyone meet my other bishop, Gasper, Vladi, the half-vampire. Issei. Oh, for real, half-vampire, so he eats blood. Gasper. Tearing up, no, I hate the taste of blood. Issei. Confused, then what type of vampire are you then? Irina. He's cute though. She came close and then alarms went off for Issei again, and he grabbed her away and then grabbed Rias to protect her, and then they all came back. Rias. Light blush, Issei, is something wrong? Irina confused, dude, when did you even grab me? Issei. Syria, something said it's dangerous. Keno. So it seems that you're not affected by his sacred gear. He looked at Gasper and Gasper looked at him confused. Gasper confused, you're not affected by my sacred gear? Issei. Looks like it, but what is it? Rias. It's called Forbidden Baylor View, the sacred gear that can stop the world. Oh my love, I have a request of you if you don't mind. Issei. Sure, lay it on me. Rias. Can you help Kaneko, Zenobia and Irina train him? He has trouble with it, and setting it off the way he does is most dangerous. If you find it dangerous, imagine around someone the same as you or stronger. Issei. Sure, I can see what I can do. Rias. I'll leave it to you, my love. He gave her a quick kiss, then she got ready to leave with a Keno. Rias. Now Kiba, I need you to come with me, my brother wants to see your balance breaker. Kiba. Sure. He went with them and they disappeared. Issei. Oh, alright Gasper, no running away, but why are you wearing girls' clothes? Gasper. Shy, they comfy. He played around with his skirt and Issei took a deep breath. Issei. Alright, I'll sort that out later, let's first see what you can do. I'm sure we can figure out how your power works. They went outside and it went downhill way too quickly. Zenobia started chasing him with her sword, chasing him around, and he cried while running away from her. Issei. This is getting us nowhere. Irina. You're right, I mean even with Kaneko, look. He looked and saw Kaneko chasing him with garlic. Gasper. Whining, no, I hate garlic in the sunlight. Issei. But you're a day walker, the sun literally has no effect on you. He watched him run away and hide in a bush. Oh, hey guys, what's going on? Issei looked to his side and saw Saji walking towards them. Issei. Oh, what's up, man? They greeted each other and then looked at what they were doing. Saji. Nothing much really, Sona just asked me to tend to the gardens, and I finished that and then heard screaming, so I thought I'd come check it out. Issei. Oh well, Rias released her other bishop. Saji. She's cute, but I have other arrangements. Irina had to hold back a chuckle, and Saji looked confused at the two of them. Issei. Well, that's a guy, I was scared cause I couldn't tell the difference myself. Saji. And I'm back to wanting to impregnate Sona. Issei. Shocked, where did that come from? Irina. Yeah, that was just a big drop. Saji. It's been a dream of mine for her to get pregnant with my child, and she tells me to take responsibly. Issei. Weird, but aren't you swapping with Serafal so she can train you, and you also got engaged to Sona? Saji. Why do you think I'm still doing plant work? Sona isn't happy, so I'm humoring her by still helping out before she sees completely less of me, and I end up marrying her. Issei. Nice, let's see how you improve. We are having trouble with his sacred gear. We dumbed it down to whatever. He looks, it freezes and stops time, but he can't affect me with it though. Oh, I can help with that. They looked to the side and saw a man with a blonde fringe and black hair looking at them. He was in a robe and sandals with a smug look on his face. Issei. Azazel. Azazel. Issei. They all got ready to fight, but since not seeing Issei get ready for anything confused them, knowing this person was dangerous. Saji. Scared? Wait, you mean that's Azazel, the leader of the fallen angels? Issei. Yes, so what can you help us with? I heard you took a liking to the sacred gears that we currently have. Azazel. Well, you see, I looked into his sacred gear alongside you and the blondie and the girl next to you. Blondie has the dragon Vritra, am I right? Saji. Yes, that's right. Azazel. That line you shoot when you use it is called an absorption line and allows you to take power away from others and either give it to yourself if someone else. Try it on the vampire and see if it makes things easier for you, and if he wants a balance break, Issei, let him have some of your blood. He walked away, leaving them confused. Issei. Well, it's something we can do, might as well. Saji connected a line to Gasper's head and then stood away a bit while Issei and Arena started throwing balls at him, and every time he froze all of them and not the ball. Issei. Angry, that's it. He started realizing his bloodlust and Gasper went pale. The others started to get a bit scared of him and slowly backed away, trying to not be seen by this scary version of Issei. He threw a ball at him and stopped it mid-air, and everyone else was alright, and Issei stopped realizing his bloodlust. Issei. Good, that's what I want to see. Gasper just looked at him and ran to the club room. Arena. Concerned Ice, even though it worked you didn't need to scare him like that. Issei. Deep breath. Alright, you guys can call it a night, I'll go and talk with him. They nodded and he walked to the room where Gasper was. He sat outside the door and spoke. Issei. You in there, Gasper? Gasper. Upset, go away. Issei. Fine, I'll go, but I want you to know something. Everything everyone wants you to is to help you. I'm going to marry Rias one day, and I'm not pure blood, but yet she wanted me. You have the strength to be better than I am. You have the power, it's just how you decide to use it. We all need to face our fears. Mine is not being worthy for what I have. Never in my life till now have I mattered. Being needed, being loved. I had none of it. Now look at me, I'm a monster that scares his friends. I was killed maybe 2 months back by a fallen, and I had nothing to my name, no friends, no love, no power, nothing. And when Surziches brought me back, I made a choice to protect everyone I can. Everyone I find, whether good or evil, it'll change them and help them find the right path. So me helping you that way was to show you the type of monsters you'll come across as we keep going. You must be scared of what others think, what you do, or even what effect. I know sometimes things can be scary, but I want you to look past it and see the end goal for your life. You can't spend it being scared of everything. We men ask Kiba, we all have something we want to work against. I'll come back tomorrow and I'll knock on this door. If you don't answer and open it when I do, then you let Rias down who took you in, and you going to let down everyone who cares for you. He got up and teleported away. Gasper could feel the energy spike and then went away. Gasper was inspired to do more. He listened to Issei's words, and he was right, and he wants to be better. But Issei, he went back and found himself in a boardroom with Surziches and Seraphil, and with both younger siblings. They looked at him, but then he stretched. Issei. Yawn, I'm off to bed, night guys. He grabbed something to eat, took a cold shower, then fell asleep in the bed. He was just tired. Today was a long one. Before he fell asleep, he heard Rias come in and felt her presence come closer to him. Rias. Soft, you must be so tired. I'm sorry I made you do what I didn't have time for. He pulled her towards him and covered her with the blanket, and she giggled a bit. He gave her a deep kiss when he pulled away. Issei. I'm just exhausted. It's been a long day, and don't forget you need to relax as well. You can't just push through it. Take this as your break. Rias. You're right, but this does need our help, so I'm doing what I can to assist my brother. Issei. I think I just need a few more minutes with you like this. Rias. That I can do, my love. They just cuddled, and when he fell asleep, she gently got out of bed, tucked him in, let him sleep, and went back to her brother. Time skipped to later that next day. Issei. So, you're saying that you don't like when people look at you? Gasper nodded and looked down. When Issei came to fetch him, he opened the door before Issei even knocked, and he started making a bigger effort to make himself more useful to Rias and the others. Issei noticed this and wasn't as hard on him and actually helped him bit more with whatever was going on in his head. Issei. Alright, let's try this then. He took a paper bag and placed it on Gasper's head and then used his claws to cut out 2 small holes for him to look through. They could see his red eyes glowing out of the bag. Gasper surprised. Whoa, this is so much better. Issei. Sweat drop, you two, man, glad to help. They saw a magic circle appear next to his ear. Issei. Oh, what's up, Keno? Alright, I'll be there in a bit. See you soon. You guys keep helping out, I'm needed, else I'll be back later. All. See you later, Issei. He left with a magic circle. Kiba. I'm impressed he still manages to train even after helping us. Kaneko. Remember when he went primal for a day? Arena. Primal. Kiba. Hardly clothing, stayed, slept outside during a hurricane and wrapped himself in animal fur. Gasper. I want to try that. Hineko. Gaspy. He looked at her. So did Irina and Zenobia. Hineko. No you don't, we didn't see him for 2 hours, and when we saw him again he was covered in mud and blood wrapped in wolf's fur and wore its head as a hat. Those who didn't see him paled imagining him hunting down animals and just eating them. With Issei he walked through the portal and found himself at a temple shrine. He saw Keno in her shrine maiden clothing which she fought in. Issei. Hey, is it safe to be here? Zeches told me to avoid such areas. The Keno. Smiling, oh relax, it's going to be alright Issei, we have been given a pass, plus there's someone who wants to talk with you. Issei. Talk with me? They walked into the shrine, and it didn't affect them. He held his arm out for her to hold. He didn't like the feeling he was getting. She held his arm and smiled. Issei. Tell me something, do you come here a lot? Given your outfit and all. The Keno. Yes I do, I used to live here, it's been unmanned otherwise, so Rias secured it for me to look after. Issei. I think we need to change this, I don't like the feeling this place gives. So it's true the Red Dragon Emperor has come back. Issei pulled her behind him and got in the defensive. No need to be so on edge Issei, I'm pleased to meet you Issei. Bale the Red Dragon Emperor, I'm Michael the leader of the Angles. Issei. Oh crap, I'm going to get punished aren't I? Michael. Light chuckle, no, you are not here for that, but I must say Drake's aura is unlike anything else, how nostalgic, but come with me, it's why we wanted you here. Issei and Keno followed him, and they came to a room. When Michael opened the door they saw a bright light shine from the center of it, and when Issei's eyes adjusted, he saw it was a sword. Issei. A holy sword. Michael. This is Ascalon the Dragon Slayer holy sword, we put it under a few rituals, so it's safe for you to use, but instead of you using it, I want you to absorb it into the boosted gear. Issei. Alright, but why am I getting something so important? Michael. I see the upcoming conference as a chance for the 3 great powers to make peace. We lost God in the last war, the devils lost their devil kings, and the fallen also suffered heavy casualties. Azazel doesn't want to seek another war either as he claims to say, but take this as a gift from the Angles to the devils. We have also given to the fallen Angle cause in return, the devils have given us a number of holy devil swords. Issei. I accept. He grabbed the sword, and it started glowing, then they watched as his armor formed around him and started changing its shape, horns becoming sharper, and scales becoming shapers as well. His armor looked completely different. Michael. Well, done indeed, with that, I must be off, enjoy your gift. Issei. Hey Michael, there's something I want to ask you. Michael. Please save questions for the conference or perhaps afterwards, worry not, I will listen then. He left leaving a Keno and Issei alone. The Keno. Some tea. Issei. Thanks, hey were you the one who helped with the rituals to the sword? The Keno. Yes, I performed them to make it acceptable for you, I didn't expect it to adjust your armor, even the lines on your arms changed. Issei. This is cool though, but can I ask you something? The Keno. Sure, what do you wish to ask? Issei. Kakabiel said that you have the power of Brachial, does that mean that commander is you? The Keno. Deep breath. Yes, your assumptions were right, my mother was human and my father an officer of the fallen angels. My mother was a shrine maiden, and she found my father wounded after the battle. The bond they formed that day led to my conception. She stood up and started to drop her top, and her wings came out, one devil and one fallen. His eyes widened as he saw them. The Keno. These corrupted wings, I hate them so much. I chose to become a devil to spite my father, but I was given these. Now I'm even more repulsive than I was. I suppose it's fitting for one with sullied blood flowing through their veins. Issei was shocked. He stood up and tried to come closer, but she took a step back. He could see it in her eyes, she was hurting, and in this situation, one wrong word would end their friendship forever. The Keno. You hate the fallen, don't you Issei? Issei. Yes, I hate them with all my being. The Keno. Sad, I thought as much. Issei. But doesn't change the way I feel about you. She looked at him shocked and confused. The Keno. But I have fallen angel blood in me, how are you okay with this? I could be just trying to get close to you because I didn't want you to hate me, that just makes me a horrible woman. Issei. I don't care about that, in the end it's why I like you, nothing changes, and if push comes I'll protect you like I would Rias if I had to, nothing has changed for me. He looked her in the eyes and she started crying. He came to her and pulled her into a hug, and she broke down crying. He wrapped his dragon wings around them to keep her warm and make her feel comfy. Issei. Are you okay? The Keno crying. Yes, you said everything right, sniff, thank you. He just held her and let her cry it out. After a few minutes she was just listening to his heartbeat while sitting on his lap. Issei. You can come on in, Rias, I know you're here. She walked in and smiled. Rias. Looks like you finally told him. She nodded and had a small smile. The Keno. I've decided something. Issei. And what's that? The Keno. I don't mind being your second wife. Issei blushed and with wide eyes and looked at Rias, who was just as surprised. Rias. Irritated. I think that's a conversation for another day. The Keno. Giggles. She's so cute when she's jealous. Rias. Blushing. I am not jealous. Issei shrugged his shoulders and used his tail and pulled Rias toward him and gave her a kiss, then let her get comfy with the Keno. Rias. Calming down, you're so warm. Issei. It's my job to be warm. Keno. I know dragons are meant to have multiple mates even if they don't want to, but I suppose you both knew that already, huh? Rias. Well, you're not wrong, but it's too soon to talk about things like this. Issei. Yay, we decided to first have our foundation build more before we even consider it. Keno. I see, well, that doesn't stop me from teasing you, and Rias smiles. Rias. Well, it's time to go home now. Keno. I'm coming with you both this time, smiling. Issei. I'm screwed. Elsewhere. Ali. So, we not going to war anymore, Azazel. Azazel. Ever so wanting a bloodbath. One thing is for certain, the red dragon has surpassed you at this point, you falling behind, but why do you want a war? You gain nothing from it like I would. Ali. I was born into a world without a god, what else do I have? I wanted to fight him and see how strong I am. Azazel. Death is what you would have received. Vale. Death doesn't interest me, not in the slightest. He looked at the moon with a determined face, wanting to hurt Issei any way he could. Life 9. The strongest mid-class. At night Issei got home and got into the bath, and Rias joined him. She rested in his lap in the hot water. They didn't break eye contact with each other. They took in each other with their hearts racing. It was a rush seeing each other like this. She started to trace the markings on his chest with her finger, and he slowly started stroking her thigh. They grew ever so close to each other, finally giving each other a kiss when they pulled away and rested each other foreheads together. Rias. I don't want you to leave, it's going to be too long without you. Issei. Relax, I'm coming back, I'm not leaving, I promise. Rias. And if you don't, what if you prefer to stay out there and not come home? He gently took her hand and made her look at the hand he took hers with. Issei. See the rings on our fingers. Rias. Issei. They show our bond as a couple, as a team. I'm not leaving this team ever, understand, this shows the bond of our love. Rias nodded and rested her head on his chest. Issei. Now come here. They started kissing again, and Rias felt something brush up against her legs. When they pulled away, she looked down and had a blush on her face. Rias. Blushing, I don't think that will fit in me. Issei whispered in her ear, and her blush started to increase more. She bit her lip and looked at him. Rias. Blushing, don't tempt me now. Issei. But now you know what you're dealing with. He kissed her cheek. The two got out of the bath, started to dry themselves, and got dressed. As they got out of the bathroom, they saw Keno in bed doing some light reading. Keno. Took you long enough, smiling. Issei. Hi, it's time to sleep. They nodded and he got into his spot. Rias was on his right in her nightgown, and Keno was on his left with her gown clearly naked underneath it again. Issei. Tomorrow is going to be a long day. Rias. How come? Issei. This meeting happening at night, right? Rias. Yes, that is correct. Keno. You have plans. Issei. Yeah, I'm kidnapping Rias for the day. Keno, you think you can handle the others with her absence? Keno. Why yes, I can, smiling. Issei. Thanks a bunch. He closed his eyes and soon fell asleep. So did the girls. The next morning, Rias woke up early to get ready and do her hair and dress up nice for Issei. Issei watched as she got done and enjoyed watching her. He then got out of bed and woke Keno up for the day. He got dressed and went for some black jeans with his boots and a red button-up top. He styled his hair, and just as he was about to leave, he went to see his master. He found Surziches and Grafia busy feeding Milikas and doing some reading. Issei. Good morning, you three, how's things? Milikas didn't know if he wanted to go to Issei or get fed and looked at his mother and Issei confused. Issei. What's wrong, buddy? Grafia. He has his two favorite things and doesn't know which one he wants to go to. Issei. Well, don't worry, I can't hang out today, I'm taking your aunt out on a date. He gently patted him on the head and he giggled. Surziches. Enjoy, I have nothing for you or neither to help me with for today, so enjoy, I'll see you tonight. Issei. Sweet. He then stood up, and then as he turned around and saw Rias standing in the entranceway and saw her in a check skirt with a black long-sleeved top and a hat on her head. Issei. Wow, you look amazing, smiles. She smiled at him and had a blush. Rias. Blushing, you look amazing too. She took his hand and then he teleported them to the overworld. Once there they saw they were at the mall, and they continued to walk around for a bit. Rias. So, did you have anything planned? Issei. Nope, I want to just spend the day with you, we can do anything. As they walked through the mall, they were content spending time together window shopping and getting a few things for each other. Issei decided to go and get haircut. Rias watched as his longer hair was cut away, and his hair made him look better too. When he was done and dusted, he paid and then took Rias' hand and made his way to the food court. Rias. You look handsome. Issei. Thank you, my love, I've been meaning to get a hair. The twin tails coming off the back of my head were getting a bit too long. Rias. Issei. What do you want to eat? Rias. What do you suggest? Keno and I have always made our own food and don't eat out at all. Issei. How about something simple? How some burgers and chips sound? Rias. I'm willing to try it. She had a smile on her face that made his heart melt. They arrived at the restaurant and the smell of food filled their nostrils and their stomachs grumbled a bit. They looked at each other and chuckled at each other. Once at a table, they ordered their food and Issei's phone rang and saw it was from the music group. Issei. Excuse me, I need to go and take this and see what they want, I shouldn't be long. Rias. Take your time, it's alright. Issei. Sweet. He got up quickly and went outside to make the call, leaving Rias alone in the restaurant. Rias looked at the dessert menu to see if there was anything she liked, and while reading it, she heard footsteps coming toward her. She knew it was not Issei, because she couldn't sense him close by, she knew he is in the distance still. She looked up and saw two guys coming toward her. Hey baby, are you here by yourself? Rias. No, I'm not, I'm here with someone. I too. Why don't you leave him and come have some fun with us, huh? He licked his lips, and it made a cold spike shoot up her spine. Rias. No thank you, I don't intend to leave my boyfriend. She saw the look on their faces, and they didn't like that line. Then we just going to need to show him that we can take what we want. Suddenly the spot went cold, and the guys felt fear coming towards them. They looked at each other confused, then looked at the source and saw a built man walking towards them that was clearly better built than them, and he looked pissed. They tried to get up and leave, but they struggled to get away from the table, and as they got up, Issei grabbed them and forced them back down. They were shocked by the force that he used and could only feel like they bucked up big time. Issei. Serious wish to tell me why you even thought of talking to my fiancé. It scared them more when he spoke, almost like there was a monster in front of them. Scared, look man, we sorry, we didn't mean to do any harm, promise. GUI too. Scared, yay, promise. Issei. Now that's where you messed up, you have two options right now, say sorry for making my fiancé feel uncomfortable and leave with your dignity. Scared, what's option 2? Issei. You are flying out the window into oncoming traffic and praying you survive. I too. Scared, we could sue you for that. Issei kept silent and looked them in the eye. They could feel he was not scared at all. He then slowly started to stand up again, picked them both up with little to no effort, and looked at the window. Issei. Enjoy the flight. As he was about to throw them, they screamed, both. Scared, we're sorry, we'll never do this again. He dropped them and then they both ran away. Some of the people that they bothered cheered for him. He waved at them and then sat down. Rias. That was amazing, my love, but I don't think you needed to pick them up, your eye contact was more than enough. Issei. Anything or anyone that threatens your safety is going to get hurt. I made a promise to keep you happy and safe, and you know what, anyone that takes away what's mine and only mine will suffer. Smirk. This caused her to blush, and she smiled back at him. He rested his arm on the table and held his hand out. She then took his, and they looked at each other and felt passion between them, and that gave them both butterflies in their stomachs. Rias. What was the call about, if you don't mind me asking? Issei. Oh, it was Kira. She wanted to know if I want to become a permanent member of the club. I told her that I need time to think about it. Rias. I'll support you with every choice you make. Smiling. Their food came and they both enjoyed the food, but unknown to them there was a set of eyes on them, and the two figures smiled. Later that day, after an amazing date, they came home and decided to rest for a bit. They both got freshened up for the evening that was before them. Once done, Issei sat on the bed and got ready to have a nap, but Rias sat on his lap looking at him. Issei. What's up? Rias. Nothing, it's just my new favorite spot is all. Issei. He wrapped his arms around her and rolled her over to the side, and she giggled when he did so. She got comfy in his grasp, coming closer to him. Rias. You ready for tonight? Issei. I'll have to see, I'll be standing with Saji. He told me that he's going to be there with Serafal. Rias. Sona told me she isn't in a good mood because he's gone and noticed how much he handled for her. Issei. Let's just hope that it goes well. Rias. I agree. They slowly fell asleep embracing each other. After a few hours, they woke up and then went to Serzich's, Grafia and Milika's, who were waiting for them. They then teleported to the school where Sona and her peers were with Ria's peerage waiting for them. Issei. Dang, what did we miss, you guys, look like it's been one hell of a day. Irina just walked up to him and rested her head on his chest, and he rubbed her back. Irina tired sort of, we were training for most of it. Rias. Well done, all of you. Kaneko, are you sure you can handle Gasper here? She nodded and Issei went to give her head pats and fixed a bag on Gasper's head. Issei. If anything goes down, call me, I'll be here as fast as I can. They nodded. Issei. Now then. He spawned the gauntlet onto his arm and dropped a box for them. They opened it and saw it was full of snacks and games. They looked at him and ran to hug him. Serzich's. Alright, let's go and see what we can do. They nodded and walked with Serzich's. Rias and Sona walked behind Serzich's, and Serafal, Issei and Saji were at their sides, so they walked behind them all. Sona. How was the date? Rias. It was nice, we didn't do much, but time spent with him before the holidays is all I ask for. Sona. I suppose you're right. Saji told me he's going to be training with Issei, who has a trainer. Rias. You seem to be talking to him more than normal. Sona. Believe it or not, I miss him. Behind the two kings, their queens were smiling at the two. The Keno. Smiling, she's missing him more than she lets on, isn't she? Tsubaki. Smiling, correct, but she won't admit it, but so do the rest of us. Irina. Issei is around us a lot, but I feel the rest of us are going to miss them when they go to train. They all nodded and arrived at the meeting room. Azazel was waiting for them, and with him was Vali the White Dragon Emperor. Michael also made an appearance alone, but if one had to look outside, it was filled with devils, angels and fallen angels guarding the school. Issei, Saji and Vali all stood on one end of the room. They looked at each other and then looked back at the leaders in front of them. The leaders all sat down and got comfy. While Rias and Sona with their peerages stood on the sidelines. Surziches. I would like to thank all of you for coming out to meet us. Michael. It's a pleasure. Azazel. Couldn't agree more, brother, this was long overdue. They then proceeded to talk about the most recent incident and what happened. Azazel. Well, I already apologized to the Red Dragon Emperor for some of my other subordinates, and I would like to make it clear I didn't send Kakabiel, he went rouge. Surziches. My pawn did mention it, but both of us said it was hard to believe it, given how you just appeared out of nowhere. Azazel. Granted my methods weren't the best, I still agree that things could have been handled smoother. Michael. I agree, in the process I lost 2 members that could have made perfect angles. Both Irina and Zenobia looked down in shame. Issei. Why did they get kicked out? It's what I wanted to ask the first time we met. They all looked at him and saw he was being serious about it. Michael. You see, the system saw it as a fault and kicked them from the church. Knowing God is dead was something that we archangels still don't know how to deal with it. Since we were there when God died, we weren't kicked from the system. Issei. That system needs a bit of a rework. If Rias didn't give them a place to stay, they would literally have no one to help them when they needed it. Michael. You're right, perhaps it is time for a bit of a change here and there. I want to apologize to you too, and I wish you well on your new journeys. Both. Thank you, Lord Michael, we have been enjoying the life we never knew we could have. Surziches. Now on to another matter. Seraphol. As you can see, we have 2 dragon emperors and a broken dragon god. Sona. Wait, you mean? Seraphol. Yes, Saji's dragon is the poison dragon god, a very powerful dragon that has both Albion's and Drake respect. Bale's wings appeared, Issei's scales grew, and the absorption gear spread around Saji. Drake. That is correct, right now he is weakened due to the fact his original body was shattered many eons ago. Albion. As much as I hate to agree with the red one, he's right, Vritra would only get stronger and more sentient, with more of his pieces coming back together. Drake. That old crow over there knows how to locate them, isn't that right, Azazel? Azazel. Indeed, I have been looking into it since I saw the gear a few days ago. Saji. So, I can get stronger. Vritra. It was the first time any of them heard Vritra speak and were shocked that they had another dragon with them. Azazel. Well, on the topic of our 3 dragons over there, what is going on with the red one? I've never seen a power scale fluctuating and or ever seen the boosted gear acting like this. Surziches. As you know, Issei was attacked and killed as a human by the Fallen. They all nodded. Surziches. When I found him, the gear started reacting to his dying body to try and keep him alive, yet it was too late, he was turned fully dragon by the time I saved him. We have been looking at it as the days go past, and he continues to grow stronger, but the gear has been acting like this since he's activated it. Azazel. Kid, if you don't mind, I'll like to study the changes. You might be the one person that this might happen to, so I'd like to document it one day. Issei. Sure, if my master agrees. Azazel. I've been told to share everything I know and have on every gear, and I have agreed because I get access to resources that I wouldn't normally be allowed to use. Surziches. Then are we all in agreement? As they were about to pull out of the agreement, a wave of magic washed over all of them, freezing some people. Issei and Vali ran out and started attacking something outside. Surziches. Looks like humans found us. Magicians really are the worst, don't you think? Seraphol. Saji froze as well. Do we do about the others? Azazel. Well, look at the one thing we agreed would be the glue of our agreement. Michael. I agree, they are impressive. They watched as Issei and Vali jumped outside and started attacking the enemy. Issei covered himself in scales caudalite and then ripped them in 2 as he got his hands on them. Vali then used his gear to divide their magic as Issei got to them to get them weaker so they can handle it better. Surziches. Impressive, isn't it, Kateria? They looked back and saw a woman standing behind them. She had on a purple low-cut dress that revealed a lot of her body. She stood next to Grafia holding Milikas, who were both frozen. Kateria. They are, but this little one here is very special, don't you think? She ran her finger under his chin. She smiled at them. Surziches charged his power, but couldn't both his wife and son be on the line? Seraphol. Your reign is over, there is no way for you to regain any power. Kateria. Chuckles. We're busy controlling the vampire with the forbidden valor view as we speak with him, keeping all the weaker devils and such frozen. We can take you out with little to no hassle. Azazel made a light spear, but she covered his arm with her serpents, and he cut his arm off to prevent her from affecting him with that power. Azazel. Well, I'm out of ideas. Anyone else? That's all I needed to hear. They watched as Issei came back and pounced back in and went for her neck with his large teeth and snapped her neck faster than she could have reacted in defense and tossed her body aside. The leaders watched in shock at how easily he did it. Issei angry no one touches them. He then jumped out of the building they were in and saw him run off into the distance. Surziches. At least he's proactive, but I think I need to have a talk about how violent he is with Issei. He ran as fast as he can, and once back at the club room, he saw that a bit of it was destroyed. He then jumped into the hole in the roof and brought out his new sword and scale sword, then sliced through all of them in cold blood. Both Keno and Gasper watched as he cut them all down with no second thought. One of the magicians crawled to him asking for mercy, but he picked her up, beat her in her stomach, then slowly broke her fingers with each finger. He slowly added more pressure to her back, slowly breaking it when she was finally dead. He then turned to the two that looked at him with fear. Issei. Geez, look at you two. I mean, they could have placed Keno right way up. Here, let me help you. He helped them down and brought Gasper back to normal levels, making him calm down. Issei. Well then, let's get back to the others. Volley is handling the rest of the enemies. He let in Gasper jump on his back, then sped off as fast as he could. Back with the others, the spell wore off and they all looked at each other confused, then saw Kateria's decapitated body with her head bitten off laying not too far from them. Rias. Confused brother, what happened? Surziches was with Grafia taking care of her and Milikas, who was about to cry. Surziches. The old Santan faction attacked and Issei took care of her, while Volley handled the rest of them. They looked outside and saw how Volley was just attacking them just as relentlessly as Issei would have. Sona. Then where is Issei right now? As she said this, he slid into the room with both Keno and Gasper on his back. He put them down and then went back into the fight outside. He pulled out both of his swords, set them both alight, and started to cut down anyone with his swords. Gasper. Excited, he was so cool. Gibba. What did he do? Keno. Magicians froze all of you in ice, cut them all down, and tortured one of them who asked for mercy. Surziches. Okay, I won't reprimand him for that. She asked to be hurt more. They all went outside, and Issei and Volley had just taken care of the last of the enemy, both breathing heavily. The two were covered in blood and looked ready for more. As they came closer, Issei looked at them and saw they were alright. He was blasted to the side by someone. They all had wide eyes. Issei recovered quickly and instantly shot a dragon plus towards Volley and sent him flying. And they started charging their power higher. Surzux plus Azazel. Guys, don't. It fell on deaf ears. Vale rushed Issei and started dividing his power to take for his own. Issei pushed him off and he started to fly into the air. Issei. Angry, what's your deal? Ali. Revenge for my family. Azazel. What family? At night Issei got home and got into the bath, and Rias joined him. She rested in his lap in the hot water. They didn't break eye contact with each other. They took in each other with their hearts racing. It was a rush seeing each other like this. She started to trace the markings on his chest with her finger, and he slowly started stroking her thigh. They grew ever so close to each other, finally giving each other a kiss when they pulled away and rested each other foreheads together. Rias. I don't want you to leave, it's going to be too long without you. Issei. Relax, I'm coming back, I'm not leaving, I promise. Rias. And if you don't, what if you prefer to stay out there and not come home? He gently took her hand and made her look at the hand he took hers with. Issei. See the rings on our fingers. Rias. Issei. They show our bond as a couple, as a team. I'm not leaving this team ever, understand? This shows the bond of our love. Rias nodded and rested her head on his chest. Issei. Now come here. They started kissing again, and Rias felt something brush up against her legs. When they pulled away, she looked down and had a blush on her face. Rias. Blushing, I don't think that will fit in me. Issei whispered in her ear, and her blush started to increase more. She bit her lip and looked at him. Rias. Blushing, don't tempt me now. Issei. But now you know what you're dealing with. He kissed her cheek. The two got out of the bath, started to dry themselves, and got dressed. As they got out of the bathroom, they saw Keno in bed doing some light reading. The Keno. Took you long enough, smiling. Issei. Hi, it's time to sleep. They nodded and he got into his spot. Rias was on his right in her nightgown, and Keno was on his left with her gown clearly naked underneath it again. Issei. Tomorrow is going to be a long day. Rias. How come? Issei. This meeting happening at night, right? Rias. Yes, that is correct. Keno. You have plans. Issei. Yeah, I'm kidnapping Rias for the day. Keno, you think you can handle the others with her absence? Keno. Why yes, I can, smiling. Issei. Thanks a bunch. He closed his eyes and soon fell asleep. So did the girls. The next morning, Rias woke up early to get ready and do her hair and dress up nice for Issei. Issei watched as she got done and enjoyed watching her. He then got out of bed and woke Keno up for the day. He got dressed and went for some black jeans with his boots and a red button-up top. He styled his hair, and just as he was about to leave, he went to see his master. He found Surziches and Grafia busy feeding Milikas and doing some reading. Issei. Good morning, you three, how's things? Milikas didn't know if he wanted to go to Issei or get fed and looked at his mother and Issei confused. Issei. What's wrong, buddy? Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown in left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.